welcome to In the Loop Lupus Live with Lupus in Color. We are so excited to be streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube, and I've got my trusty little phone here to stream live on Instagram for those who do not go to Facebook or YouTube. So we have a great warrior here today, Miss Courtney Brandy. It's going to be a magnificent story as always. We're coming down to the end of Lupus Awareness Month, and I have been so excited to share the stories of so many great lupus warriors. So I see Courtney is there. So without further ado, we're going to bring her on up. Let's see how, we've been doing this so long, we should just be able to add her, right? Hey there, Courtney.
Good. How are you?
Oh, I am so good. It's so good to see you and finally, kind of physically meet you.
Yeah, you too. Good to see you too.
Good. I'm so happy that you decided to come on and share your story. It's such an important part of healing as we deal with lupus. So I'm so excited to hear your story. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, my name is Courtney, obviously. I am a school counselor and a dance teacher. I live in Niagara Falls, New York.
Wow.
I love theater and the arts. That's like some of my favorite things to be involved in, as well as, going to see plays and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, so those are like the main things about me.
Awesome. Niagara Falls. It's so pretty there.
Yeah.
During the summertime. I've only
Mm-hmm.
been there once, but
Okay.
yeah, I enjoyed my time.
There's an actual city. They think they hear about the falls, but they forget it's an
Right.
actual city.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's get into talking about your lupus a little bit. Tell me, when were you diagnosed with lupus and what led to your diagnosis?
Okay, I was like officially diagnosed around like 2004, 2005. And what led to that was maybe about a year or so, I was getting a lot of pain in my hands, like unbearable to the point that it would keep me up at night. I went to my family doctor, they prescribed me, pain medication, didn't think nothing of it. And then in my undergrad, I was stressed out a lot because, college is stressful. So I began to have like all these like back to back things going wrong with my body. Like I kept getting like urinary tract infections. My hair was falling out. I would get mouth ulcers, extreme fatigue, rashes on my leg, and it was just crazy, So I got tested by my primary doctor, and he told me I had lupus, and he recommended me to a rheumatologist.
Okay.
So when I went to that rheumatologist, he only treated me for arthritis because he didn't think it was lupus. So I stayed with him a little while. Then I went to another rheumatologist, and he was just treating me for like pain,
Right.
And steroids like prednisone and like, maybe a little bit of ibuprofen. Right. But what did it was when my family went to Disney World in 2005, I spent half the time in a wheelchair because I couldn't walk. I was in so much pain. Like there was a time my family went out and I had to stay back in the hotel because I was just in so much pain. I felt like somebody was like grabbing my muscles and twisting them around and nothing would work. So I stayed with that same rheumatologist for a while.
Okay.
And then after that, I was like, let me look for someone else. And I've been with my rheumatologist since 2010, and it's been going good since then.
Good. And did they What type of um lupus were you diagnosed with?
That's
SLE?
yes, yes,
Okay.
SLE.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was it when it's funny because your story sounds similar to mine because everything
Mhm.
started for me in my hands and
Yes.
I couldn't extend my elbows and stuff like that. So it's so similar. It's so interesting how sometimes we can be similar but so totally different too.
Right, right,
You know.
absolutely.
So when you were diagnosed,
Mhm.
what what did you feel like? What was going through your head?
It was I bursted out into tears only because I thought it was like a death sentence, or I thought my life
Right.
was gonna be limited, and then I was fearful because too, I didn't really know about lupus or what it meant for me in the
Right.
future, so I just thought the worst. 'Cause it's
Mm.
almost like it almost was like a out of body experience, and my mom was with me too, and she said she felt like it was like a out of body experience, so it was
Yeah.
more, like, shocking too.
Yeah. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. What is this? Like, what is this, you know?
Right, right. And you didn't really know anything about it, so it was like now you have to educate yourself.
Right, right. It took me a long time to really understand, like, what it was. I was just so busy, like, trying to comprehend, you know,
Right.
that I had it. Mhm,
Yeah. Someone
mhm.
said, yeah, for her, the Spice Coach said that she exactly feels like a death sentence. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, especially when you don't know about it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes it hard to even comprehend that. Okay, now my life is going to totally change,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
I've got to get in line with that change.
Right,
You know.
exactly.
So it does make it kind of hard. Did they still keep your rheumatoid arthritis diagnosis, or did they just say it was SLE now?
They just said it was, SLE
Okay.
because, just because I was getting, like, so, um, many symptoms. I've been to every type of doctor there is because of the symptoms I got from lupus. Like,
Mhm.
some of the other things I, suffer with is like asthma, which I had
Oh,
since I was like 5 or 6. So when
mm,
you got that on top of lupus, it's all crazy. And then I got acid reflux.
mm.
That can be lupus can kind of get that flaring up, so that can be difficult sometimes too.
Yeah,
So
yeah. But
yeah.
I'm glad that it well, you can't say glad. It was
Hmm.
good to know what was going on.
Right. Right.
Not glad that you have it, but more so that
Right.
you knew exactly what it was
Yeah.
and you didn't have to
Being
guess.
aware. Being
Yeah,
aware. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Because I guess how long do you feel like you were dealing with it prior to that, or did it just come on like kind of suddenly? Was there
I
stressful
felt like
activity?
yeah, I think I felt like I had it like probably like right after high school. I would just be a little achy, but it got worse in college because like I said, it was very stressful for me, college. And that's when the symptoms started to happen. So obviously, stress is not good for lupus at all. So that's like the enemy. And
Exactly.
so I felt like I might have had it maybe a couple years before. That's
Right.
what I feel like looking back at it now.
Yeah. When hindsight is 2020, it's like I can almost pinpoint it.
Right, exactly.
Once you
Ex-
start realizing, okay, wow, these were the symptoms. I had that such and such a time. Yeah,
Right, right.
absolutely. Absolutely. How do you usually explain lupus to people that don't know?
Um
Because
it, it
someone always assumes that they know what lupus is, and
right, and
you have to share.
they really don't know. A lot of times I'll say it's like a disease that where your body kind of attacks itself.
Hmm.
And I'll maybe mention like the organs and some of the symptoms like the rashes or the arthritis, the fatigue.
Right.
It depends on who it is, how deep I'll get into it.
Oh, I feel
Um,
you.
and I always have to tell them it's not contagious, because a lot of people hear lupus and they don't know what it is, and they say, "Oh, is it contagious?" Because I've had people ask me that, and I'm like, "No, it's not."
Right.
So I just focus on mainly saying the body attacks itself. Your fatigue. You might be a little achy, and then it can get complicated.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
What medications are you on now for your?
Um, right now, I'm taking Plaquenil and prednisone, the Benlysta
Oh, good.
injections.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
that does help, especially with flare-ups. And yeah, those are the main three that I'm taking currently.
Right. And the with your injections, I do the infusions.
I
Did you?
used to do that. I used to do
Okay. So, do you like the injections better than the infusion?
um I do, only because I don't have to, because my rheumatologist is about like 40 minutes away, so I don't have to go there. I can just do it at home.
Hmm.
I'm comfortable doing it myself now. At first I wasn't.
Right.
Um, the only downfall about it is you have to do it like once a week, versus like when I was um getting injections, it would be like maybe once a month.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
infusions, yeah.
Yeah. So you do them in your leg or you do them in your stomach?
Yeah, like kind of like in the thigh area.
Okay.
So my poor little thigh is like
Yeah.
bruised. It look like I've been to war, but I feel like that really um has helped me a lot. And I started taking Benlysta when it first came out. So I was kind of like one of the guinea pigs.
Yeah, I was with you.
Yeah. So I need something, because what I had going on wasn't really working. So I've been taking that probably, I want to say it came out like 2010. I'm not sure. Like
Yeah.
around
Like
that area.
2009, 2010.
Yeah, around that time I started taking it.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, it's so weird that our stories are very similar.
Yeah.
Even down to going to Disney World.
Yes.
It's
That was a
weird.
no. Yes. I can actually laugh on it now. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Then I was just like, wow, I missed out. But
Yeah, absolutely. Because I
yeah.
mean, you get your little scooter or your little wheelchair and you get to going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you look back and like, wow, that was a rough period, but
Yeah.
here I am to tell the story.
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely,
Exactly.
absolutely. Someone said that when they were first, as Sammy on IG said, when they were her first reaction was when she was diagnosed was, what in the world is lupus? And she said, I
Exactly.
guess I guess she said, I guess all people think the same thing when we talk about lupus.
Mhm. Mhm.
Absolutely, because nobody knows. I thought it was cancer.
Yeah, that's kind of what my brain went towards, like something of that degree. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it just it just becomes a guessing game until you educate yourself.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
now, who's your biggest support system? Like,
Um, Definitely my family. My family is like, you know, um, definitely supportive. They were even like sharing this, that I was gonna be live and everything. And they
awesome.
always ask me, am I okay? Like I'll get texts from my brothers checking in on me. My mom always stays on top of me to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, because sometimes I can get a little lax, especially
Yeah,
when it comes to, like, let's say prednisone, because that's something you want to stay on top of. So definitely, my my family, because they understand, like, okay, Courtney's tired, she needs to lay down, or let me do this for her. They're very like nurturing, put it that
awesome,
way. Yeah.
awesome. Now, is
Mhm.
it to the point? Are they nurturing to the point where you don't want to let them know if you're not feeling well,
I tell
or
I do tell them I'm feeling bad, but oftentimes I'm feeling worse than I let on.
yeah,
I do say I'm feeling really bad, but sometimes it's just like, I feel like I need to lay down for at least a week.
Right.
Especially working, and
Yes.
the job I have is
Pretty
extremely
demanding.
stressful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, like I said, they're very supportive. Like sometimes my parents will go pick up my medication when I can't, like things like that, make a difference. Because
Right.
maybe I'm too tired to go all the way out there and get it and stuff like that. So I'm thankful for all of them.
Yeah. And it's always helpful to have supportive family. I think sometimes we forget that the family is there, and we hold back a lot.
Mhm,
Probably
mhm.
when we shouldn't.
Right. Because
But
you need help sometimes, you
yeah.
know? You
Yeah.
know?
Is it hard for you to ask for help? I know it's hard for me to ask
Um,
for help.
I try to do things myself, but I do ask for help sometimes, especially when it comes to like you know, um the getting the medication thing, because my pharmacy is on the other side of town, and sometimes after work I don't feel like driving there.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the main the main thing. But a lot of times they'll just help me without even asking.
Right.
So
They can
I'm
feel it. Yeah,
thankful
they
for
can
that.
feel you need the
Yeah,
help.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And that's important because at least they're
yeah,
tuned to, you know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because some people are fighting that battle of having people that don't support them, and you have to explain to
That's
them,
tough.
today I'm not feeling well, and it's so hard.
Right, right.
It's so hard. Someone on Instagram said, yes, she's so happy you have such an awesome support system,
Yeah, I'm very
and that
thankful.
it's hard for her to ask for help as well. I think that's
Mhm.
a trait in lupus warriors.
Yeah, 'cause you wanna push through it,
Right,
you wanna fight, but you have, what ends up happening, the candle is burning on both ends,
right,
and rest is definitely important.
right, right.
Mhm.
And then you have, I'm sorry, I'm going back and forth from,
That's okay.
so I
It's
want to
fine.
make
I'm
sure everybody gets their comments in so that
Yeah, for
you can feel
sure.
supported as well. Spice Coach said Spice Coach is amazing. She's such an amazing person. She knows all the spices to get down that inflammation. She's amazing. But
Oh, love it, love it.
yeah, she's good. She says it's very hard for her. Like now, her two girls want to drive her around to her appointments or store, but she refuses. See,
Mhm,
stop the
mhm.
Spice Coach.
Right, 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 right.
Sometimes we have to just relinquish ourselves to that help. And
Mhm.
it's hard because it makes us feel, I don't know, for me, it makes me feel a little weak. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, I do feel like that, and I end up feeling like almost, like, bad for myself sometimes, like,
Mhm.
"Oh, man, I don't even have the energy to do this and that. That's terrible." You start
Mm.
thinking that way,
And
you get a little
that's an important
discouraged.
point. That's an
Yeah.
important point that you just made because I think often we do feel bad for ourselves because we're
Yeah.
not who we used to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, physically, I can tell, like, with age, you change, but like just little physical things that you notice that are different. Like I could kind of compare my face or my
Mhm.
skin to like 10 years ago,
Right.
it's like war wounds basically, the scars from like lupus and stuff like that. So
Yeah. And
definitely
even,
end up feeling bad for yourself sometimes, but I try to fight that
yeah.
mentality, you know.
And I've never even thought of it that way, like looking back at yourself and how
Mhm.
that can make you feel a little, down on yourself. And
Right, right.
look like I look at myself in the mirror sometimes, like, where are my eyebrows? Come on, stop playing.
Yeah.
You know,
Where did my hair go? That kind
yes.
of stuff. Yeah, yeah.
It's like, come on, stop playing.
Mhm.
I gotta draw my eyebrows in. Come on.
Yes, I know the struggle. I know the struggle. I'm with you.
It gets crazy.
It
So with
does.
everything that you're doing, you're obviously you're in the school system. So that's really demanding. I'm a former teacher, so I completely
Oh, so
understand
you
that.
know. So you know.
Completely understand that.
Mm.
How do you handle the physical demands of your job and lupus?
Oh, it's tough. I'm still like trying to balance that out because what I try to do is rest, like kind of recover during the weekend.
Mm,
Um, if I can, like I'll maybe take like I'll lay down maybe a little extra for like an hour, or I'll take a nap. That's kind of how I get rejuvenated.
right.
Sometimes it's difficult for me to, like, I come from work, it's difficult for me sometimes to sit down because I'm like, okay, I gotta clean this, I gotta work on this for school. Like I struggle with that. So I'm gonna admit I'm still working on that.
Absolutely.
But I do try to balance myself during the weekend. And
Mm,
like, plus I got Monday off because it's Memorial Day. So that'll definitely be like a rest chill day.
right. Right.
Hmm.
And it's important for us to find those little rest periods, and
Hmm.
not even just for our body, but for our mind and
Mind.
spirit.
Absolutely.
And just get to the point where we learn how to have some type of balance every now and again, because we know we're human, we're not going to have it all the time.
Hmm. Hmm.
you know but
Yeah.
when you have that balance, it has to feel good.
Right. It does. It does. And like I said, the job is really stressful, and you're, being a counselor, you're always in need. You got to run up here, run up there. The school is kind of big. You get tired, but nobody wants to hear that. Like they just they want you there. And then like sometimes I'm just like, oh, I can't do this right now.
Right.
But that's what I kind of, if I could get to that, do the weekend
Yeah.
rest.
Now,
Mhm.
does your job know that you have lupus, and are they
Um,
accommodating for you?
a couple, like maybe a coworker or two. No, I haven't told like um the administrators, because sometimes it's like I want to, but sometimes I feel like I might get judged, or
Mm.
they might not, for lack of better words, care. You just don't know
Yeah.
which way it's gonna go. So
Yeah. That's completely understandable. Completely
yeah, yeah.
understandable. I think a
Yeah,
lot of people are where you are with that too. You don't
right.
want to be judged, and you don't want to be treated differently.
Right. Like, okay, she can't lift that, that kind of
Right.
thing. So, um, if it comes to a point where it's like unbearable, I will, have to say something.
Yeah, definitely,
Mhm.
definitely.
Mhm.
Just to keep you safe. But as
Mhm.
long as somebody there knows, just in case
Yeah.
something happens, God forbid, at least they know, look, Mr. Ambulance person, she has lupus.
Right,
You
right.
have to be
Exactly.
careful. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely, absolutely. How do you what are your most successful coping strategies for your pain? Like when you're feeling like death warmed over. You know exactly what I mean.
Oh, yeah. Like somebody just knocked you out.
Yeah, like what do you do?
A lot of times, like, I absolutely love my heating pad.
Oh,
That
yes.
my electric heating pad is like my best friend. So that kind of gives me a little comfort, especially when I'm in pain. Um, or like especially when it's the winter time, like an electric blanket, that kind of helps me too. Um, Tea kind of relaxes me a little bit.
Yeah,
Um, kind of just, sometimes I even take, pain medication if needed.
right.
But I just try to go somewhere and like sit down, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes even like when I'm in pain, it's important to like keep your body moving as well. And
Absolutely.
that's kind of why I take dance, and I teach dance, but that can be a struggle too because of my energy. But I try to also keep my body moving as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's an important point, because sometimes I think in our pain, we always want to just like, oh, I just want to
Yeah.
lay here and just be. And sometimes we do that. Sometimes we
We end up doing it. Yeah. And I try to push through, because sometimes like, I try to push through the pain and like, okay, go ahead and like move a little bit. Cause I feel like if I don't move at all, it'll get worse, you
right.
know? Mhm.
Right. And you want to try to get those endorphins, just, kind
Right.
of giving you that high that that you're feeling just a little bit better.
Mhm.
So do you still dance yourself, or are you just teaching dance now?
Right now is mainly like teaching dance. When we were dance, the teachers did like do a dance because we just like had a recital or whatever.
Mhm.
We did do a dance, but we I don't dance on a regular. I mainly like teach it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were ballet?
Yeah, ballet, and then I had praise dance as well.
Oh,
So
awesome.
there's a class there too. So I like other styles. My main style that I feel like I'm the best at is like, modern and lyrical, that kind of thing.
Yeah, awesome.
Mhm.
So similar. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing when you find someone that's very similar to who you
Right. That's
are.
pretty cool.
It's pretty cool doing that.
Mhm.
Rebecca Austin says, "Yes, I love my electric blanket, even in the summertime for pain." Yes.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
it's it's
that's the
so
best.
like a comfort. She's right. Absolutely.
And my husband has this electric blanket that he that he'll lay down on the bed, and I
Mhm.
lay on it. Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's the best.
Amazing. It's amazing. So now you said you have strategies for coping with your pain and
Mhm.
how you deal with the physical demands and everything like that.
Mhm.
What have you learned about you
Mhm.
on this lupus journey? What's the one thing or two things that you have learned about yourself that you didn't even realize before you had lupus?
Well, one thing I feel like I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was,
Mm,
and a lot resilient. Um,
yeah,
you know, with God's grace, of course, but I think just pushing pushing through each flare, each hospitalization, like
right.
just kind of pushing through all those moments. I just learned like I'm tougher than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One tough cookie, huh?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Someone made an interesting point in Instagram.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say her name is Del J. I hope I
Okay.
said that right. She said, "Can you file for intermittent leave if for random days off, but it also protects your job?" Okay, so I don't know where she's located. It might be called intermittent leave there. For us, it would be FMLA.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
if you're not well enough to go in for 2 weeks or so, she wanted to know, can you do that just in case something happens, and
I
then
don't
you can
know
lose your
with
job.
my job. I would have to definitely look into that because that definitely would be a good backup
Right,
backup
right.
plan.
That's a good point, because I
Yeah.
think that we forget, like, let's talk about a couple of things with that.
Mhm.
If you're still working, I'm unable to work, so that was a
Okay.
hard blow to handle.
Oh, I
But
can
if you're still working, when I was working, I did have FMLA, I
okay.
did have AFLAC, which saved me
Oh, wow.
tremendously. So if anybody out there, you're still working, try to look
Mhm.
at the AFLAC, because AFLAC definitely helps you um, in times of short-term disability. And
Mhm.
of course,
Mhm.
the FMLA protects your job. So that's
Okay.
important. And I think that as lupus warriors, we definitely forget about the things that we might need to do
Mhm. Mhm.
to keep ourselves
Exactly.
intact,
That's so true. That is
it's
so
very
true.
important. And the other thing, just make sure, and this is for everybody on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, just make sure that your insurance is up to date, and make sure you have some
Yes.
life insurance. It's a sucky thing to discuss,
It's essential. It's
but it
essential.
is.
Mhm.
It really is. And with the unpredictability of what lupus does, we definitely have to make sure that we are on point and having the correct things in place.
Right.
So we just went off on a
That's a
tangent, but that's all
but
right.
no, that's a great point. That is a great
Yeah.
point.
And someone said, And She Shall Reign. I love that name. She'll be on tomorrow.
Nice.
And She Shall Reign.
I
Most
love
jobs
that.
will give you FMLA if you've been there for a year. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I
Yeah.
mean, just some, some things to think about, as you're dealing with lupus, different things that you might want to put in place and
Right.
make sure that you're on point with yourself,
I agree.
you know. Let's see. Edwards. Let's see what we have to say. Yep. Yes, here in Brooklyn and New York, we have intermittent FMLA and FMLA. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. See, I moved from New York, Eb, so
Oh, okay. Okay.
it's so different. It's so different because I'm in Virginia now, and
Oh,
it's a
really?
Commonwealth. Yeah, so it's a
Okay.
Commonwealth. So everything is so weird, oddly different. It's very,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
very interesting. Okay, so let's move on a little bit. Let's move on a
Okay.
little bit. You
Okay.
said you learned that you were strong, that you were resilient.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me this. What do you think? And I'm trying to say this in a way that is easy to understand.
Okay.
What do you think is the thing that keeps you going the most on your lupus journey? So, what motivates you
Um,
to keep going?
well, for one, like God definitely. That's like the ultimate number one. Um, what else motivates me? Um, just being there for like my family.
Right.
That's another one. And just, um, I just want to like live the best life I can. So kind of like that's what kind of keeps me motivated because I do want to, see the future and stuff like that. So that definitely keeps me motivated, knowing there's, God willing, there's more life to live and
Right.
it'll be, it'll be good. It won't always be bad. So
Right.
I think that,
That's true. That's
yes,
true.
those are the like three things.
That's very good. Very good. I
Mhm.
love it. I
Mhm.
love it. And we're coming almost down to the last couple of questions because I don't want to keep you too long.
No, that's fine.
Um, what is your fight song? What is a song that makes you want to just get up out your bed when you're not feeling well?
You know what? It's kind of funny. Like I mentioned, like musical theater.
Hmm.
And one of my favorite musicals is The Wiz.
Oh
And
my
for those
gosh,
who
really?
don't know, yeah, for those who don't know, it's the black version of The Wizard of Oz. Um, and the song is called Brand New Day. It's a
Oh my goodness.
that's my that always gets me like pumped, and it's fun, it's lively, it's happy, and
Right.
it's a metaphor, a brand new day, like yesterday kind of sucked, maybe today will be
Today's a
better.
brand new
So a brand new day. So I absolutely love that song.
that I think you're my kindred spirit
Yes,
that's been hidden.
yes,
Because I think
absolutely.
I could watch The Wiz every single day.
All the time. All the
It's
time.
so many different metaphors in that movie
Oh my God,
that
yeah.
help you with life. It is crazy.
Yes.
It is crazy.
That
I love
is,
it. I
yeah.
love it. Brand new
Yeah.
day, y'all. Y'all look it up if y'all don't know about The Wiz.
Get on it. You
Y'all been
missing
doing
out.
right.
You-
Exactly.
It's
Let
not
them
too
know.
late.
Let them know. What is a quote that brings you motivation and helps you move on?
Okay. It's a Bible verse. It's Psalms. I want to say 27 and 1. It says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Whom shall I be afraid?" So basically, that's like me talking to lupus. Like, you're not gonna
Right?
get me down. God's got me, that kind of thing. And I have to constantly like remind myself that because I tend to
Mhm.
focus, on the bad stuff,
Right.
especially when it's happening. So I just try to keep that Bible verse in my head.
And that's a good one. I'm not gonna lie
Mhm.
to you. That's the perfect one to talk to Lupus. And I
Yeah.
talk to Lupus all the time. I usually be cussing her out, but
Yeah. Yeah, you be wanting to. I'm telling you, she's something.
yeah, but I like that verse. That's a very good,
Mhm.
motivating factor for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think this is around a couple more questions that I have for you.
Okay, sure, no problem.
And I really want to get this question out there.
Mm.
What three pieces of advice do you give lupus warriors for their lupus journey?
Um, get a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth opinion if you have to. If you're not satisfied with the help that you're getting from your doctor or rheumatologist or whatever, do some research and try, um, something else. Another one is when you're in your doctor's appointments, ask lots of questions. You have
Mm,
a right to ask questions. You have a right to ask, like, what does this medication do? What are the side
right.
effects? That kind of thing. So ask questions. Um, if you can get a support system, that's huge. If you don't have anyone like physically, like join the groups on social media, because you need support, because sometimes you do feel like you're alone and nobody understands. So I would say ask questions, get a second, third, fourth opinion, and a support system, and do your research too. You know,
Mm,
you know, you trust. We thank God for doctors, but at the same time, you should know these things for yourself as well.
absolutely, because you definitely want to go in when you have your questions.
Yeah,
Definitely want to go in with the correct way to say them so that they're not going to talk kind of down to you. You know what I mean?
right, right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
those are great pieces of advice, especially the whole educate yourself and get the information that you need.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know. Now, did it take you a while to really educate yourself about lupus and about how it works with your body?
Yeah, I had to like learn how my body like works. Like I can feel when a flare is coming up. It'll be like the littlest thing I can feel. It's important to like listen to your body. And I kind of like got that going toward the beginning of my lupus journey. Like I just started knowing, okay, this is not going to be good if I don't get this
Right.
under control.
Hmm.
So it's just paying attention to your body, even like, physical things, the rashes, the butterfly rash. Mine
Right.
kind of flares up a little bit more when I'm in a flare. So it's just important to just pay attention to your body.
And that's a good point too,
Yeah.
because do you feel like sometimes you're pushing yourself so much that you lose that attention to your body?
Sometimes I do, especially when I'm like super, super busy. And then when you finally sit still,
Right.
it's like, oh wow, that hurts or something like that.
Right.
So
Right. Right. And
mhm.
then your body kind of forces you.
Oh yeah, it will. It will.
It's like sit
Yeah, if
down,
you don't
stop
rest,
playing around.
it'll make you rest.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Del J said, that's a great piece of advice too. Take notes at the doctor.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes she says she'll forget what they say once they
Yes,
get
I've
home.
ran into that, and I
Absolutely.
get so mad at myself.
It's like you get home, it's like,
yeah, like, why didn't I, and, just to piggyback off of that, come in with questions, like, have questions written down if you have anything so you won't forget, or what you need, because sometimes I've had doctor's appointments where I've forgot, and I get so frustrated with myself.
yeah, yeah.
So try to do that as much as you can.
And that was actually a tip of the day for us today because
Mhm.
I know for me, sometimes if my husband, I only take my husband if there's something wrong.
Right. Right.
If I'm in a fog, somebody's got to go, whether it's my husband or my son or something like that. But I've
Mhm.
learned that I've got to write my questions down so
Yeah.
that number one, I think that it trains the doctor how to teach you. That's the
Yes.
first thing.
Right.
That you are an active participant of your healthcare,
Mhm.
and it kind of makes them pay attention.
Right.
And I've learned that, writing your questions down and bringing them in is a good piece of
Yeah.
advice.
Absolutely.
Sweet Tooth says research stresses me. It should, girl.
It does. It does. It's a web. It will get you wrapped up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll go down this old rabbit hole.
Yeah. She's
You
right.
think you have lupus, COVID, HIV,
Yeah.
MS. You think you have everything
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
lupus mimics so many different
It
things.
does. That's why it's so, as you know, so hard to diagnose because it does mimic so many things. Yeah.
Right. How long did it take for you to get diagnosed, by the way?
Um, I would say a 2004, maybe maybe a year. I want to
Okay.
say like a year. But after I went to that rheumatologist after and he said it was just arthritis, I think a couple years later I got
Yeah.
tested again and it was confirmed that I definitely had it. So I got tested for it about 2 to 3 times
Right.
just to
Right. So they
confirm it.
they couldn't find anything. Now, does anyone in your family have lupus or any other
Um,
autoimmune disease?
yeah, some like aunts and like on my mother's side, so I believe it is like hereditary.
Hmm.
um I feel like I brought it on, especially with with the stress. It just kind of came out, but
Yeah.
yeah, more so on like from my on my mother's side. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
Hmm.
Interesting. Interesting. Sammy Maya. I
Hmm.
think I said that right.
Hmm.
Says from Instagram. She says, "Be patient with everything, especially with you." Woo.
That's deep. That's deep because sometimes
Woo.
I get frustrated like with myself, you know.
Right. Absolutely. I thought that was
Right.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. And then she said that's very hard becoming patient really sucks. It really does. It's kind of difficult,
Hmm.
especially when you're trying to be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
Because
No,
I think
it's
we're hardest on ourselves, don't you think?
we are. We are. Being patient is definitely something I need to work on with
Yeah.
myself, you know.
And giving yourself some grace and
Some
compassion.
grace. Yes, and compassion. Yes, absolutely.
Because we sit there and we're like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. And it's like,
Mhm.
girl, you fighting lupus. Sometimes my husband's just got to be like, girl, you know you got lupus.
Right. 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 Go sit down.
Right, exactly. You got that 20-year-old that used to be running
Right.
and doing that, ripping and running. No,
Mhm.
you getting older, number one.
Right.
And number two, your body got some challenges. So it's kind of hard
Absolutely.
to really deal with that type of thing,
Right.
And how did you deal with that? And this is my last question. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to give us one little last nugget.
Mhm.
How did you deal with having to stop dancing as much as you were dancing and just that change?
Yeah, that was like really difficult because I've been dancing since I was like 7.
Wow.
So that's like a big portion you know of my life. So when I kind of slowed down on that for a little while, that was hard because I would see dancers on
Right.
Instagram or like online and you kind of get a little like envious, that kind
Right.
of
You're like,
I wish that was me.
right, right.
So, you know, I I I did end up, I did dance in my undergrad. Um I don't know how I pulled that off because we would have dance at least three times a week and then we would perform. So that was hard too.
Yeah.
So I did get through it, but it was hard not dancing for that time period.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
can't even begin to imagine. I don't think that I saw my until I was a little bit older is when I got it.
Mhm.
And when I look back,
Mhm.
I can see that when I was in college, I was having some issues and just ignoring it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just shoving it down my throat, like, nope, I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah, and
I'm an
that's kind of
athlete. I'm just messed up right now.
exactly. And I thought, in undergrad, I was gonna have to drop out because it got that bad one point. But by the grace of God, I was able to, you know, get through it and pass. But I did end up missing like a lot of classes because of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Jennifer over on Instagram says, I'm still not over my old life. I was
Yeah.
in denial for so long to the point I could not stand myself. Girl, I
Hmm.
feel you.
No, I know. Because looking back, just eat like even like the physical,
Right,
just like I had skin that had no like scars on it. Now it's like scarred up. So
right.
it can be heartbreaking sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie. You
Yeah.
know.
And that whole denial part that she was saying, oh my
Hmm.
gosh, that is so true. That is
Yeah.
so true. We'll push ourselves to even now, after
Hmm.
having it over 18 years, even now, I'm still like, I'm good. I can do it.
Right. Right. I'm gonna ignore that for right now. You
Right.
know. Hmm.
I'm good. I got this. I got this. And then 4 days later, I'm still in the bed
Right. You
from
pay
dealing
for
with
it.
those
You end up
issues.
paying for it.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lorianne said something that I thought was interesting. I need to find out, Lorianne, where you get this electric towel.
Ooh.
That's kind of interesting when you're coming out of the bath or you're coming out of a shower and you have the electric towel and it works well for her in the cold time too. I'm gonna
Wow.
start looking up electric towels, y'all.
And it's safe.
I guess so. Let's see. She said something else. Hold on. My
Hmm.
ESR was at one about a month ago, so they took me off prednisone for the first time. Ooh,
Hmm. Yeah.
Lori, I'm going to hold some space for you to stay off the prednisone. How many milligrams of prednisone are you on,
Me.
Courtney?
Um, five, and 5 milligrams a day. But when I first started, like especially with my first rheumatologist, he had me on like there was one point I was taking like 80, and then
Mhm.
my face just
Blew up.
blew up, and people were like, "Are you okay?" and stuff like that. So and I'm like short and small, so it was too much for me,
Right,
too
right,
much. But now I'm on 5, and that's working for me. Like if I have a flare, she might tell me to up it to like 20 and then
right.
progress step back down.
Yeah, it took me about I want to say about 2.5 years to wean off prednisone. Because
Yeah.
every time I'd get down to that 5 milligrams or the 2.5,
Yes.
I'd have a massive flare.
Yes.
A
Yes.
massive flare. And then finally, you know what really helped Enlista? I
It's
can't tout it
it's the
enough.
goat. It's the goat because I mean it's definitely helped me. I mean, I haven't had a serious flare in a few years.
Right,
I get the mini ones, but
right,
nothing that
right,
will put me in the hospital. Yeah.
right, right.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Well, this has been such a great
Yeah,
conversation. I'm so
it
excited
has.
that I was able to talk to you and,
You as
learn a little
well.
bit about you.
Yeah, you too.
Make sure you keep in touch.
Absolutely. For
Um,
sure. I definitely
and,
will.
yeah, and anytime that you want to share with us, you just let us know and we will get on here and we will share it together.
I love it. I
You
absolutely
know?
love it.
Do you have any last words you want to say to Lupus Warriors or, that you want to tell us about yourself?
Um, just, stay encouraged. I know this battle is tough and this disease is awfully misunderstood. Um
Right.
And, sometimes people will look at you and think, you're lazy, but you're really like tired. That's why it's so key. Like, I'm repeating myself, to have like
Uh-huh.
a support system. That's like number one for me. Just knowing, just being around people who care, and being around people who know what you're going through.
Right.
So just kind of, you know, stay encouraged, and don't give up. And that's me from experience. So it's not like me saying, do it, and I haven't been through it. So
Right. Right.
just keep
Right.
fighting.
And I mean, those are great words. Stay encouraged. Don't give up. Keep
Mhm.
fighting. Get
Mhm.
you a support system.
Mhm.
Awesome, awesome words. Love it, love it, love it. I love your spirit.
Thank
I
you.
love what you're doing for yourself. And I love that you were able to share your story
Yeah.
and, garner some healing from that,
Yes.
because, seeing from where you came to
Mhm.
where you are today, it's an amazing feat.
Yeah, it is.
A miracle walking, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Oh, okay. We got the answer for the towel. She said
Oh,
yes. She said, let's put that up there before we let you go. Yes, the towel is safe. I put it on my bed and lay on it. Okay, so it's like a blanket, I imagine.
oh, okay.
It could also go on low, medium, high. My grandmother got it for me a long time ago. Still have it, but not working now. Awesome.
Okay, I might have to
I'm
look
still
into that one. I'm
I'm
here
still gonna
for
look
it.
for it. I'm
Yeah.
still gonna look for it.
Mhm.
Well, I want to thank you once again for coming on with us and sharing your story.
Thank you for
And I
having me.
look forward to talking to you some more and,
Absolutely.
having a little relationship and having some support for each other.
I'm down for that.
Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Courtney. I so
Thank
appreciate
you
you
so
coming
much.
on. All right, you have a great night.
Take care.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye bye. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I love talking to lupus warriors. I love to see their overcoming. I love to see their strength. I love to hear how they keep motivated. And it was a pleasure to talk to Courtney. And I hope that you enjoyed her story. So thank you so much for tuning in once again to another great lupus warrior story with Courtney Brandy. And this has been In the Loop, Lupus Live with Lupus in Color. Catch us tomorrow where we will be talking to another lupus warrior, Ebony, and she is ready to share her story and share all of the information and knowledge that she has as far as maternal care and things of that nature. That is tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope to see you there. Thank you once again, Courtney Brandy, for coming on our show, and we hope that you have a great rest of your evening. Bye bye.